Okay. Seeing about OOPs, whenever we name as object-oriented programming, I guess certain people will be saying it OOPS, OOPS. It is not OOPS, it is only OOP, object-oriented programming. Okay, don't add yes to it. Okay, so whenever I name that object-oriented programming, it has certain concepts. So we are having certain pillars for OOP and base for OOPs. So certain programming language are known as procedure-oriented programming language and object-oriented programming language. Speaking about the difference between object-oriented and procedure-oriented programming language will be built by using only procedures or functions. Voice is not audible. Now is that fine? Okay. Okay, fine. It's clear, right? Okay. Okay, whenever we are speaking about this object-oriented programming, so before moving on, we should know that what is that object-oriented programming? A language, whatever the language you are taking, it might be classified either under procedure-oriented or object-oriented. So what is meant by procedure-oriented in the sense? A program which is built by using procedure alone or functions. We can take C programming. A C program is a procedure-oriented programming where it is built only by using functions. We can't able to use class and objects. Right now they are building it. They're extending the C programming functionality. It is keep on updating. But when we say C programming, the first thing strikes in mind is we can able to write the program only by using functions. So C programming is an example of procedure-oriented programming. So whenever I say object-oriented programming, the programming which is built by using class and object is called object-oriented programming. So which language does this particular Python belongs to? Either procedure-oriented or object-oriented? How it is? Under which category does it come? Python is a procedure oriented or object oriented? Both. Good. It is both. It is not a single one. It is a both one. So whenever it is a both, we can write with by using class without using class also. So it is known as bilingual language. As we write C++ program, Python can be written by using class without using classes. So it is known as bilingual programming. And whenever you're speaking about the object oriented concept, the base for object oriented is we'll have two elements. One is class and other is object. Okay, and keeping this as a base, we'll have four pillars. The four pillars are abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. These are the four pillars of object oriented programming, and these two are the bases. Okay, so simply I'll give you what is what alone, not to speak much by using in case of hoops concept. So whenever I name class, a class is also called blueprint, or it can be named as a group of common elements. For example, any name can be given for a class. It can be either car, laptop, book, pen. So when I say general, that is a class. A common, it gives a common structure alone. It doesn't goes to, if I say laptop, I doesn't say that what is the features of laptop, what which brand does it belongs to. As a general, whenever I have a screen, keyboard, whenever I give some input, it processes it and give me some output. That is fine. So it doesn't go to the features of it. So any outer skeleton when I referring, it can be given as a class. This is an example I given a car. A car can be of the four wheels and followed by the driver seat and the nearby who can able to sit it and back seat. If we have this structure, we can name it as a car, right? These are the names we can be given for a class. The same way when I name that object is an instance of a class. Instance in the sense that's a part of a class. So for example, if we say just a minute, if you say object, let me repeat it, guys. A car can be a outer skeleton or a blueprint. For example, we want me to repeat it, just a minute. Blueprint or outer skeleton. Example is I'll name this generally as pen, car, laptop, all those things can be given as a class name. It's a common one. I didn't go for any specific brand of laptop, specific brand of pen, or specific brand of car. So when I name pen, blue pen, Renault pen, ink pen, Hero pen, Parker pen, all those pen comes under pen family. It may be of either sketch, whatever the thing I can able to write, it comes under pen family. So this is nothing but a class. It is a blueprint or it can be named as a outer skeleton. Here, next is object. So when I name that object is an instance of a class. So here what I mean instance is, it is a part of a class. If I say this pen is a class, I can name it as Hero pen, Parker pens or object. Same way if I name laptop is a class, I can name that HP laptop, Dell laptop, Mac, all those things comes under object. So particular brand which comes under object, the common structure I'll be naming as a class. I guess you people are clear with the difference between the class and object. It's a blueprint and object is a part of a class. Either I'll be doing the instance of a class or part of a class. Keeping this two as a base, we are going to have these four pillars above to it. So base in the sense it is mandatory. It is mandatory. So keeping this as a base, they are going to build the program about to it by using this object oriented programming. Here, whenever I name that pillar, we'll be having abstraction, encapsulation, inheritance, polymorphism. These are the four pillars of object oriented programming. What is abstraction? I guess you people came across it already. Just give me what is abstraction. Will you people give some example for it? What is abstraction in the sense? Definition. Okay. Defining it. Just give me a view about abstraction and encapsulation. Showing relevant data. Okay. Is hiding data hiding is abstraction? No, Pavan, you're confused little. Hiding doesn't comes under abstraction. There is small variation between abstraction and encapsulation. Okay, let me explain you guys. This is a little bit theory. I know it is hard to type it. I'll explain you. Listen here. Hiding source is called encapsulation. Okay. Showing relevant. Okay. Okay, listen here, guys. We'll see about what is abstraction. Here, abstraction is nothing but providing necessary information is called abstraction, where all the access is not given, only the necessary information will be provided. Clear with it? Providing necessary information or providing relevant information. That is called abstraction, where all the access is not given, only the abstract view is given. If at all you're going to submit some project, you'll have abstract before to it. Okay, you can keep this in mind. In the particular project, the first abstract is not going to give you the detailed information. It is going to give only the abstract view of the project, right? The same way abstraction is going to give you only the relevant information or the other necessary information. It is not going to give you all the access or all the information. That is called abstraction. And speaking about encapsulation is nothing but binding of data or wrapping of data in a single unit. That is called encapsulation. Here, if you are taking class, inside class, I'll be placing variables and methods. So variables and methods has been wrapped by using class. So this class is a simple example of encapsulation, wrapping of data. That is called encapsulation. Speaking about the real term example, let us assume you're going for some showroom. Let us assume that's a mobile showroom. There is a sales guy, he's standing there. He might face different number of customers, right? So at the day, he might have, as college students might be coming, working candidate might be coming, or even the old people, grandfathers or grandmoms, they might go for shop to buy a mobile. So when the particular persons are entering inside, the response of the particular salesman will not be same for all the person. The reason is he knows all about the particular brand of mobile, but he gives the information based on the customer, isn't it? That is nothing but abstraction, providing necessary information according to the customer. He is going to give the information, that is abstraction. He is going to give the abstract view. Okay, and this view is not same for all the person, right? And other is encapsulation, how he is relating all the data and providing all those things comes under encapsulation, wrapping all the information together. Or you can able to say this one also, capsule, wrapping of data, a simple thing where the background access is not known for the user. Normally what we are watching TV, right? While we are watching TV, we know the screen, the pictures is played, the background, how the picture tube is working, and all those information is not known for us. The same way how we are looking at the laptop, the internal process of laptop has been hidden from the user. So we should not say the entire concept. Encapsulation is the data hiding. This data hiding is a part of encapsulation. This part of this particular data hiding is one of the process of encapsulation. So don't say immediately as data hiding for encapsulation. It is nothing but wrapping of data all together. That is known as encapsulation. In case of abstraction, providing necessary information. These are the exact definition of these two terms. Are you people clear about abstraction and encapsulation? Shall we proceed to the next one? Come on. Is it clear? Okay, fine. And next is inheritance. Which one you want to repeat, Ma? Okay, better I'll type it. Providing necessary information. Is repeating. Encapsulation is nothing but wrapping of data together to single unit. This is nothing but encapsulation. Here you can take this encapsulation example as class. Inside class, you can notice that where variables and methods are wrapped together. Methods or functions. You can take it as function. I'll give you the exact term when you're going for the implementation of it. Is it clear? So providing necessary information comes under abstraction, and wrapping of data all together in a single unit comes under encapsulation. Guys, these four are the pillars. If at all you have any doubt in the definition of it, not to do much into it, but you should know what is the meaning of each and everything. Shall we move on next one? Is this definition clear for everyone? Even wherever you go, you can find this example of capsule. Whenever they are taking a capsule, the capsule external features has been known for the user, and the internal features, what is that medicine inside, and how many grams of particles added, all those things has added from the user, right? This can be named as a encapsulation. Come on, just give me confirmation so that we can go ahead with the implementation of it. Okay, fine. Okay, guys, we'll go with the implementation. Don't confuse much. You can take this as an example to make you people clear. This is an exact example. Okay, here for abstraction, we'll have only the partial axis where all the axis is not given. We are going to have an abstract view. Only those elements can be accessed where all the element axis is not given. That's all about abstraction. Now, speaking about the class and object. So I told you that these two elements are the base, right? So how this element structure is going to be, we'll have class followed by a class name. Okay, inside this class, we are going to have attributes. Yeah, attributes in the sense the variables are given as attributes, and this will have attributes and methods. So class can have only these two elements. One is attribute and other is method. Okay, and these two elements is also known as class members. Okay, these are class members. So this is all about the syntax of class. Let us assume the class is declared, whether the class can be accessed directly. So for example, if I give class car, and inside this let me give some print statement, or if I give some pass, I give something. Here what happened, this particular statement will not be, this particular class will not be executed directly, but one attribute in the sense variable. Here we'll be naming as attributes. So whenever we are going to mention a class, the class cannot be accessed directly, right? We know that how to declare a function, right? Whenever we define a function, until unless we call the function cannot be accessed. The same way, when I declare a class, okay, class can be declared. If you want to access the class, you're supposed to create object for a class. So you can create an object. Just a minute. This object assign your class name. This is how to create a object for a class, where this object name can be of any name and class name can be of any name. This is a user defined name. Both are user defined name, both are not system defined. Clear with it? This is a user defined, and this object name is also an user defined. You can give any name for the object. So for this class, if at all you're trying to create an object, you'll be creating like this. Guys, those who know it, you can take just as a recap. Those who want to read from the base, you can listen carefully here. This is from the scratch of hoops concept. I'm teaching you guys how to declare a class, what is this, all those. Okay, so this is how to create an object. So right now, just given a pass. Right now, there is nothing inside a class. We'll see a one by one how to place a variable, now to place a method inside it. I guess you people are clear what is class, and only these two elements can be placed inside a class. One is attributes and other is method. So inside this method you can place all the statements or all the manipulation what you want to be do. And next is followed by the object. So in order to create an object, you'll be creating object assign followed by the class name, and this methods inside the class will be called by using this object. So if you want to call the methods, we know that method will be invoked only when you're calling it, right? So if you want to call it, I'll be calling, right, object dot followed by the method name. So this is how to call your methods. So by using concern object, I'm going to call it. So for a single class, I can have any number of object. There is no rule that a class could have only one object. A class can have any number of object. Okay, now we'll go ahead further. We'll see few programs implementation in it. So here, let me declare a class, and let me give class name as sample. This is my class name. So I told you that inside a class, what we can place a variables and methods, right? So right now, let me place a method inside it. So method definition is same. If you want to define it, I'll be using def followed by get. This is a method. If I want to print something, I can print all is well inside. So if at all you want to call the particular class, I need to create an object for it, right? I can create any name. Right now, let me give obj. It will be easy for the naming convention. You can create like this, where class can be created, where class the particular method can be accessed even without using object. First, let me show you that one. Then we can come with this. I can call the method directly even without using object also. By using class name, method can be called. Keep in mind that a method can be called by using two different approaches. One approach is by using object, and other approach is by using the class name. Clear with it? So we know that a class can contain only variables and methods. A method can be accessed directly by using class name, or it can be accessed by using method. Here I have shown you the first approach, how to access by using class name. Okay, and next is we'll go with the next approach, how to access by using object. Okay, listen here. Let us assume we are going to create object for this class obj assign sample. Now this object has been created. Now let me try to call this particular method inside a class. What I told you, we are supposed to call by using object dot method name. This is the methodology for calling it. So let me call obj dot get, and let us see what is happening now. Yeah, you can have it, Pavan. I'll show you how to create it. So before discussing about it, we should know how to call the methods. So you can notice here, get takes 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. So this is the error you're facing. So you can notice that there is a class called sample, that there is a method called get. I'm trying to print it. Okay. Just a minute, ma. I'll complete this, then I'll clarify your doubts. If I stop in between, there is no sequential flow. Just give me a second. After completing this, you can post your queries. Okay. So you can notice that there is a method. I'm trying to print it. I'm trying to print it. I'm creating object. I'm calling obj.get. So when I'm trying to call this, you can notice the one error is there. Get takes 0 argument, but 1 was given. So there is one argument already there, but here I'm calling with a 0 argument. So what is this? There is no argument given at all, but it is showing one argument given. So that is nothing but here we should know one important concept all about self. Have you came across the self keyword? What is that self? So whenever you're writing Python programming by using class and object, you might have came across this self. So what is this self? What is this self all about, ma? It refers to itself. Okay. Any other definition? What is self? Good, Karan. Your answer is right. Somewhat it is relevant. It is similar to pointer. Okay. Self is not an attribute. Don't take self as a separate attribute here. The self is very important person in case of object-oriented programming. You should know about him. Okay. I'll give you some example. Have you came across this pointer in C programming, in C++? Rajrashmi, we know that, but we can able to access the variable, all those things. I'm asking definition of it. Have you came across this keyword in C++ or Java? This pointer. Yes, no? No. Okay, okay. So if at all you learn this C++, or at least C++, you might have came across this pointer. This. this keyword. So this is nothing but this particular self is an object. Self is also an object. Self, just let me type, is an object. It is going to give the reference of the current calling object, which stores the reference. Guys, this is the important one of the current calling object. I'll show you what is current calling object in the sense. Current calling object. So this is all about your self, guys. It is also an object, which means the current calling object. What is that current calling object is going to mention it. By using self, we can able to identify it. So by the default parameter here is we will take that one parameter is the object type. So the first parameter what you are supposed to mention here is you are supposed to mention self as the first parameter. It is mandatory. Okay, here you're supposed to mention what is the current calling object. You're supposed to mention self. This self is not a keyword. You can give any name XYZ. Where in case of naming convention, universally they are using self. That is the reason we are using self here. Just a minute. So all of a sudden your editor got stuck. Mm. This self is mandatory, which means that which is going to mention the current calling object. The reason I'm keep on saying current calling object in the sense a class can have any number of object, right? I didn't mention that a class can have only one object. Right now the class has one object obj. If I call obj dot sample I'm creating and obj dot get, if I call it, this get method will be called. So guys, keep in mind that by default, this first parameter for any function is taken only as a object. It is an object one. So don't think that a self is a keyword. Self is not a keyword. Self is just a variable name in order to refer the current calling object. It's just a variable name. But wherever you go, universally they are going to use only self. Whatever the book or you're referring or anywhere you're referring, you can able to find only self. But even if I place some other variable also, it will be working fine. So this is all about class and object. So if you want to access the method of a class by using object, it is required to pass self keyword inside the parameter. So whenever you're calling the methods of a class by using class name, it is not required to pass self keyword. You can notice here. So whenever you're calling by using object, it is meant to pass self as your parameter. There is a variation between accessing a class member by using class and by using object. Shall I go ahead with creation of multiple object for a class? Till this, are you people clear? Self is an object, Venkat. Self is not an attribute. It is a reference of an object. Okay, fine. Now, as I told you that a class can have any number of objects. So let me create two objects for a class. Yeah, we'll go further, Narsimha. We'll go with example of the passing parameter value. Right now, I didn't go with a variable. So I didn't go ahead with parameter. So first we should know the variable, how to access it and what are the different types of variable. Then we can go ahead with the parameter. Don't worry. Okay, listen, here what I'm doing is as I told you that a class can have any number of objects. So initially I'm creating object 1 for the class. I'm calling it by using object 1. Object 2 is calling. So you can notice that what is this self does here. It mention right now which object is called. Current running object. A class can have any number of object, right? So which object is called. So based on this reference will be taken. Okay, I'll give some variable and later I'll show you what is the exact purpose of the self. For this particular, you can pass two variable. You can let us assume that we are having this particular get function as two variable. We are going to do some addition in the sense. I'll pass 2, 3 here. Let us assume if you're going to pass some value, I'll pass 2, 3. If I can pass 3, 4. So based on the object, if you are doing object 1 dot add, these two data will be added. If I give object 2 dot add, these two data will be added. So based on the current running object, the add method will be called. If at all you have one more method called add. Got it? What is the use of self? So you people might be thinking about why can't in C++ or C we are not having it. So by default, those function has internally. Even in your C or C++, you're passing some variable, right? You'll be having some method, you'll be writing like this, right? So you'll be writing void get, you'll be getting two numbers, int a and int b. So there also you can notice that by default this function has a internal parameter as this. Those people has internally. Here in case of Python, internal function is not there. There is a difference. For C++ also it has internally the first parameter is the this keyword. It will have it internally this pointer will be there the first parameter. So it is not required for those programming language to give this. So this does the same work as we do self here. In case of C++ or Java, they has this keyword as a first parameter. So it is internally. We people will never give for those programming language. Internally it is defined. So directly they'll be start giving from int a comma b. Okay, but in case of Python, we are supposed to give first parameter as self and followed by that if you want any number of parameters there, then you can give comma separated. You can pass all those variables. Clear with it? So the first parameter should be a self and after this any parameter can be. So this is all about a class and this is all about a object and multiple object can be created for a class. If at all you want to access a method of a class, you are supposed to pass first parameter as self. So if you feel that I have one or two values here, I'm supposed to receive here. You can pass it here. From here you can pass it and you can receive by using the variable name. But whatever the value you're passing could be the second parameter of a function. It cannot be a first parameter. A first parameter will be only the current running object reference. This is mandatory. Clear with it? Shall we move on further? Come on. Are you people clear? If at all you have any doubt, you can ping your doubts. Okay, fine. Now we'll go ahead with the variable. So what are the how to implement variables here and how to access it? Okay, let me have a class and let me have the same class called sample. And here I'm going to declare one variable called var and right now I'm going to initialize him as 10. Okay, if I'm initializing variable like this inside this class, this variable is called class attribute. We know that the one more term that can be given for a variable is attribute. So this is class attribute where this class attribute can be accessed throughout your class. It can be accessed throughout this class. This is called class attribute. Okay, so whenever we are speaking about the variable, we are having different types of variable, class variable, instance variable, local variable. We'll see one by one. So right now we are going to see class variable alone. We'll have some example. So let us assume we are going to have some method. So let me have diff. There is one method called get and let me pass self as a parameter. So let me print statement get function is called just for our reference in order to give you difference. And let us assume this particular function get is going to have one variable. Okay, if at all you are declaring one variable inside this class, I'll declare var assign input. I'm going to accept input here. So let us assume as a integer input I'm going to get it int of input. I'm going to accept input here. Now let me diff. I'll have one function called display And here let the function. Similarly, a class can have any number of functions, guys, any number of object, any number of functions. And here let me try to print this var here. Okay, and after this let me do one thing. Let me create object for it. Obj assign sample. So just I'm creating object, and here what I'm going to do is I'll call this get method. Obj dot get. Yes, Pavan, we are going to see how to access all the methods. Okay, we'll see to it. Object dot display. So very basic operation. So right now let us see what happens here. So we know that there is one variable here called var, and I'm having one more variable here called var. So now let me try to execute, see what happens. So initially when this sample, this particular class is object is created, get method is called. This is accepting input for it. So let me give 5. After to that, what happened is throwing a huge error message. What is that? A name var is not defined. Where at this point at the definition of display it is showing name var is not defined. But you people could notice it here. Here there is one variable called var, and here one variable called var. So why this var is not taken? It's nothing but if at all you want to refer this variable name, which is nothing but a class attribute, if you want to refer it, you are supposed to make use of your class name. That's a class attribute. So if at all you want to access the class name, I told you that this class name, this particular class attribute can be accessed throughout your program, right? So here through this class it can be accessed. So if at all you want to access this person, I'm supposed to call by using class name. So now let us execute it. Let me give 3. You can notice that after this 10 is displayed. This is all about displaying your class attribute. So if at all you want to access a class attribute throughout the program, this is done. So what about this person? What happened to him? Why he is not accessible? The reason behind this variable is a local attribute. So local attribute in this is, what does it mean? This person can be accessed only within this particular method boundary. It cannot be accessed outside its boundary. Its boundary is only within this. Within this get function, this variable cannot be accessed. So let us assume I want to make this person, I'm going to declare some variable, I want to access only for this particular object. So I want to make this as an instance variable. Okay, I told you the 3 terms are there. Are you people clear with what is class attribute and local attribute? I can proceed further. So if I say instance attribute, it should not confuse you people. So that's the reason I'm asking confirmation from you people. Is that clear with the class attribute and local attribute? What is the functionality of it? Local attribute can be accessed only within this method, within get method. You want to repeat it? Guys, whenever I say class attribute, the class attribute can be accessed throughout a class. If you want to access this particular person, it can be accessed only by using a class name. And if I want to access the local attribute, it can be accessed only within the method where you are declared. It cannot be accessed outside your method. This is all about your local attribute. Yeah, we can do manipulation with it, Tanuj. Now, we'll go ahead with the further one. Further one in the sense, now we are going to see with how to implement this instance variable. Okay, so the same program I'm going to make use of instance variable. Here if I mention self dot, so what did I say? Self in the sense current running object is going to refer it. If I give some self dot followed by the variable name, this attribute will change as a instance attribute. I'll tell you people what is this instance attribute. For each and every instance this particular data might be varying. Okay, just a minute, I'll show you people. Let me create two objects for it and I'll show you people. I'll create one more set of object. Let me create obj1, 1, sorry, 1 and 1. And here, what is the purpose of this instant attribute? Previously, local attributes there which can be accessed within the method alone, right? The same way, whenever it is an instance attribute, it can be accessed by the instance of the particular class alone. So this is not a definition of it. I'll tell you what is it. I'll show you by using example. So let us execute this one. I'll give you the explanation of it. For once by using seeing the execution part, it will be clear. So just a minute before to it. So right now just let execute roughly. Before that I should print and show you people, right? It will be making you clear. Print. So if you want to call this instance attribute directly, you can mention self dot variable name. So now I'll show you the difference. Then I'll explain you people. Listen carefully here. So initially what happened, an object has been created for a class, then you're going to call a get method. So if you call get method, this get method is called for obj. So get method of value. So the first value I'm giving 5 for this var variable which belongs to obj object. For this particular instance, I'm going to give it. And after this, I'm executing it. You can notice that display method has been called. After this, I'm calling this display. So the first data displayed is sample.var which belongs to this particular class attributes. So if I mention self.var, self in the sense which object is called right now? Obj is the object called for this display function. Display is a common method. So if obj is called, so what is the obj var value? They'll see to it. Self.var for the current instant. What is the var variable initialize? You can notice that var variable initialize is 5. So y5 will be displayed. So again get method is called by using this one. If I give 20 as a var variable. So here I'm giving 20 for var variable and by using object one so for in case of object I'm giving 5. In case of object one I'm going 20. If I execute it, you can notice that I'm getting 10 and 20. So this 10 belongs to your class variable and this 20 belongs to this instance variable. So you can notice that for each and every instance, I'm going to change my var value, but the functions is same. So based on the instance, I'm going to give value. So it is going to execute based on this instance. Clear with it? This is all about your instance variable. So based on the instance, throughout the instance, whenever the instance is called, so whenever you're going to call the method by using object, the particular whatever the value I initialize is going to be called here. This is the use of an instance variable. It can be accessed only by by its instance alone. If I mention class, it can be accessed throughout a class, irrespective of the instance. Clear with that? Irrespective of an instance, your class variable will be called. But in case of instance variable, will be called only based on your instance. What is the object you have created? So based on the object only, the var value is displayed. You can notice that when I'm calling object one dot display, the here I given the var values for 5 for this particular object, so it is displaying it. Second time when I'm calling this particular display method for the current instance 20 has been initialized, so 20 is been displayed. So based on the instance what you are calling and the value what you are initialized, the value will be picked. That is the reason we are using self here. It detect the value based on the current running instance. This get method is called multiple times. So but for the particular object, what is the var value you initialize for it? It is taking the instance value of it. Is this clear now? Come on. So people might be wondering, so what this object has? So once you are creating object here, this particular object will have all the variable what you're going to declare in the particular class and all the methods will be inside this. Each and every copy of a variable and methods will be inside this particular object. The same way, each and every copy of this function will be for this method also. For each and every time once you are creating object, it will be allocated separately. Jyoti, it is not within a method. Here, instance variable can be accessed by using its instance. It can be created either by using self or by using init. Instance in the sense object. Accessing through the object. That is the instance here. Don't try to relate this instance variable with your method. Okay, I'll show the output. Guys, let me know, is that clear? If you have any doubt, you can let me know before going to next one. Others, what happened? Everyone is so quiet since it is theory. Jyoti, which one? You the entire one you want to repeat it? Guys, very simple. Class attribute can be accessed. Okay, class attribute can be accessed by using class name in anywhere in your program. If you feel that I want to access this class attribute here directly by using class name, even you can print here and check to it. Okay, you can even print here and check to it. This is all about a class attribute. It can be accessed anywhere by using class name. It can be either within a method or outside a method. It can be. Okay, Venkat, at the end. I guess you people are facing some network issue. Okay, at the end, I'll give you the overall recap of it. Okay. Now, if I'm starting from the beginning, again, it will be those already each and every concept I'm repeating twice. That's the reason. So when you're speaking about this instance attribute depends upon your instance. Instance in the sense object. For the particular object, when you're calling get method, what is the value initialize? The concern value will be taken for the other method when you're calling it. You can notice here, I'm just initializing this var value 5 for obj. So if you're going to call obj dot display, if I'm calling self dot var, what is the value initialized for this particular object will be initialized. The same way, if I'm calling self dot var, you can notice that the var value 5 has been initialized already, but that is for the other object. Some other object has been initialized. For the current object, what is the what right now the current object is object 1. For this object, what is the value initialized is 20. So this will be taken here. It depends upon the instance. Okay, based on the instance, this particular value will be taken. That is the reason we are knowing as the instance variable. Instance variable, class variable, and local variable we have seen already. It can be accessed within a class boundary. So make sure that if at all you're going to declare some variable, you're supposed to make it as an instance variable. So what happen? I can able to access throughout a program. It can be accessed throughout a program. Just by mentioning the instance of it can be accessed by using any function. So if I'm mentioning as an instance variable can be accessed in display function and two or more function is there, I can access directly. It is not required that I should have each and every time declared it. In case of local variable, I should declare it again. Okay. Shall we move on next one? And next, shall we go ahead with? All those things are done. Okay. Just a minute, ma. Let me add few more cells. One or two topic I'll teach you people. Just a minute. So before going to next one, we know that there are certain access specifier available. In case of other programming also, you might have came across this term access specifier. Here, there are certain access specifier available. Those are private and public. These are the two types of access specifier available. Have you came across this term access specifier, which determine the accessibility of a variable, where the variable can be accessed? That is known as access specifier. Here, if you want to mention this private variables. So this is nothing but private in the sense it is like a private park. What is the concerned people who belongs to, they can access it. Whenever I'm going to make the particular variable as a public, everyone can able to access. Like a public park, everyone can able to access it. The same thing we are going to discuss here. If I declare a variable as a private, it can be accessed only by using its the area where you are declaring it. Okay. And whenever it's a public one, it can be accessed throughout a program. So by default it is a public, where all the variables are by default or public, so it is public in nature. If at all you want to make it as a private, so I should follow by preceded by using double underscore symbol, preceded by double underscore symbol. We are supposed to declare this private variable. So I'll show you some example how to declare a private variable. For example, I can take, just a minute. I'll take the previous example itself. I'll add few more features to it. Class sample. So right now, in order to define new people, let me give us class variable for your identification. Guys, this is not a private. This particular symbol should be before. If I give a double underscore before, then the variable is a private. Right now, just I'm giving a class variable as 10. And inside this, let me have a definition called get method, okay, self. And inside this, let us assume we are going to declare a private variable. Let me declare private variable. I'll give you some command over it. It will be easy for you, right? So I'm going to declare a private variable. So private variable, I'm going to declare self dot. If I'm going to make a variable as a private variable, I'll mention double underscore before to it. So this means that the variable is a private variable. Okay, let me give double underscore var, and I'm going to accept input from the user. Input. I'm going to accept it. And this is done. And followed by, if at all you want to accept a local variable, directly you can mention local var. Just I'm mingling all the concept what you have seen so far. Just I'm giving conclusion of it, guys, along with it. Local variable and followed by input. Just let me mention here. Private var. So right now this private public will not find so much difference. When you're going by tomorrow concept, we'll be seeing about inheritance. There you can able to find the difference, guys. So just know about it. So if at all you want to make a variable private, you're supposed to make use of double underscore. And by default, the variables are public in nature. So if I give double underscore before to the variable, we can notice that here I given directly. Where is this? Here I given directly here. If you want to make it as a private, I'll be making use of double underscore before to the variable declaration. So then I can have display method. Def followed by display. Okay, here let me print it. Print. First let us call my class variable sample dot class var. I'm going to call class variable. Here you can even call this private variables also. So whenever I say private variable, it means that the specific implementation is the variable can be accessed within the particular class. In a program, I can have any number of classes. There is no rule that I should have only one class. A program can have any number of classes. As we see that a program can have any number of objects. A program can have any number of classes. So when you make a variable as a private, which means that the particular variable can be accessed only within this class boundary. it cannot be accessed outside a class boundary. So by default, when I'm giving the variable like this without using underscore, which means that this variable where here if I have one more class 2, this variable can be even accessed within the other class also. This is all about the normal variable as a general. If it doesn't give it, those are public in nature, so it can be accessed in any way, any outside of the class also. If I declare a variable as a private, it means that the variable can be accessed only within this class sample. That is the main implementation of private. Okay, here if I give double underscore, which means that private, when I'm trying to access outside the boundary, it will throw you error. So why you are speaking about this private public? Why I'm giving this much importance in the sense where you can find MCQ questions. You'll be having in case of InfyTQ, you'll be having MCQ questions based on this class and object only. You'll be having MCQ questions. So there they'll try to declare a variable as private and they'll try to access it. In those cases, you should know what is the difference. Why it is showing. Why when does it shows error and when it will be executed? You should know the importance of it. That is the reason I'm keep on insisting double underscore is for a private which can be accessed only within the class boundary where which cannot be accessed outside its boundary. Okay, let us assume I'm going to create two objects, object 1 and object 2. Somehow there is no difference here guys. Okay, you can have object 1 dot display, can have, I should call get function, right? And call it object 1 dot get, object 2 dot get, followed by object 2 dot display. So once I execute, you can notice that what is missing, something is error showing sample. Class name you are given uppercase, but you are trying to access in lowercase. That's the reason. You'll be getting majority of your MCQ questions from this part. Oops concept will be getting majority of your MCQ questions. So what is this again? Display. Sample object no has no attribute. Is there any typo error? Yes guys, sorry ma. So let me give private variable as 20 and the next local variable as 30. Guys, come on. Sorry guys, there's a small typo error. That's the reason. Sorry. Let me check it. Class variable and where. Okay, fine. 20, 30. Okay, listen here. First, I'm going to call this object 1.get. This will be called private variable is accepted. 10 and 20 is accepted. And followed by, I'm going to display my class variable and my private variable. A private variable here is the instance variable. Don't think about this. There is not an instance variable. This is also an instance variable. Whenever you come across this particular term self dot variable name, it means that is an instance variable. So don't be confused that when I use double underscore, this instance property goes. Whenever I use double underscore, I'm going to make the variable as a private variable. That's it. But that doesn't mean that you're going to change the functionality of it. It is an instance variable also. So whenever I'm going to call this particular data by using some other instance, it will be accessed. So you can notice that I'm going to give 40 and I'll give 50. So here what you're trying to display, a class variable and your instance variable. For the current instance, I have given the value as 40. So this value is displayed here. Guys, is this clear? How to make a variable as private? Here you can't able to find much difference. Where I'll show you the difference of access of private variable by tomorrow's session. Just know about this. Private variable in this sense, a variable can be accessed only within the class boundary. It cannot be accessed within other classes. And apart from this, once you are declaring a variable by using self keyword, the variable is only an instance variable. It can be accessed by its instance. So the value of the variable might vary for instance to instance. The var value for the first instance is given as 20. For the second instance is given as 40. For instance to instance is going to vary. The reason I told you that this particular, once you are creating object for the particular class, it has all the methods and attribute whatever you are declaring in the particular class, it will have one copy of it. And whatever the value you are initializing for the particular variables and method, it will be initialized separately. Is this clear? Come on. Clear with the instance variable, local variable, and the class variable, and how to make a variable as a private, and what is the functionality of it? Is this clear for everyone? Come on, respond me, guys. We'll complete this and we can go for programming also. I could see everyone is so quiet when theory is going on, huh? This theoretical part is also important for your MCQs. It is very much important. Your MCQs will be based on class and object only. When you're facing this, your Infosys context exam, you'll be having MCQs. Majority of your questions will be from class and object. So you should know all about this variables, access specifiers, everything. Inheritance. So what is your doubt? If you have two local variable and we want to print local variable can be accessed. What happened? Why this local variable is confusing here for you people? Shiva, local variable can be accessed only within this get function alone. We can't able to access outside. Okay, you can have any number of local variables. There is no rule that I should have only one local variable. I can have any number of local variable. That's not possible. Local variable accessing outside is not at all possible. Only within the function I can able to access it. When you're trying to access outside a function, that's not possible. Venkat, there's an ethical way to give the uppercase. Even if you're giving lowercase, it will be working. Guys, keep in mind that local variable that's not possible to access by using other function. Local variable only within the boundary alone. Okay, ma. I'll give you one more small example. We keep on seeing the importance of this particular local variable and instance variable, right? I'll give you some other example by using class variable. What is this class variable used for? Okay, or we can do one thing. Yeah, fine. We'll have what is this class variable used for and what is this local variable used for. I'll give you one perfect example. Look at here. So let us assume you want to calculate the area. You want to calculate the area of circle and circumference of a circle. So in this case, I'll declare one class called circle. I'm going to declare one class called circle. We are going to calculate the area. So for calculating the area, it is pi r square. For calculating the for area, it is pi r square is the formula, isn't it? And if you want to calculate the circumference, right? RENC. Circumference of a circle, it could be 2 into pi r. Sorry, 2 pi r, right? Circumference is 2 pi r. So we'll take this as an example. Yeah, we'll see here the instance variable. Shiva will see again here instance variable. Okay, don't worry. This is how we are going to do it. So we know that this pi value is repeating for both the person. So what I can do is I can define this pi variable value as a class variable. So I want this person to be accessed throughout a class. I'll make this person as a class variable. And after this, I'll have one function, def followed by get. And here what we needed, the only element common for both the person is radius, right? So let me have radius. I'm going to make this radius as an instance variable. So if at all I'm going to declare this radius as an instance variable, I'll be declaring self dot radius. Is it clear? This instance variable for the particular instance is common. So followed by int of input. So I got now. So I'm supposed to do two separate operations, right? So one is nothing but calculating area and other is calculating circumstance. We'll calculate one minute how to calculate the area and I will see how to calculate the circumference of a circle. So we'll have two separate function for each and everything. So the first one is to calculate the area of a circle. So let me mention self. And here I'm going to mention the calculation part and we can print directly. Print. So what is the calculation? Pi r square. Pi is a class variable. If you want to access the class variable, how will you access it? How will you access this class variable pi here, ma? Can you give this? Will you people just type this statement? What should I print here instead of this? How will I convert and print it? Will you people type in the chat box so that I can give the confirmation? Okay, good. Pi is a class variable, so I'll be accessing by using class name. Class name is important. So class name dot class variable. Now this is done. And followed by R. How can I access this R? Can I access directly as radius? Is it possible to access directly as R? For class variable, that's fine. For instance variable, good. We are supposed to access only by using its current reference. So it is nothing but self dot radius. So don't think that if I put directly radius, what happen? It will search for the particular variable and will throw you error. There is no such variable. I'll show you what happens if I'm trying to access without self. And next is def. Let me have circumference. Circumference of a circle, you're going to calculate it and let it be self. And here circumference of a circle is mentioned by 2 into again pi. So pi in the sense circle dot pi we have mentioned it. Again for r we'll be mentioning as self dot radius. Okay, this is all about how to access your class variable and how to access your instance variable. Now let us create object for it. Let me create c dot circle. And if you want to ask first method to be called as get method. So once you're calling get method only, the values are going to be initialized, right? So get method and followed by area and followed by c dot circumference. Currence circumference. Okay, now this is done. Now let's execute. Radius, let me give 5. So once you give radius, you can notice that these data has been calculated. The get method is called, after get method, area is called, circumference is called. You people might have a doubt. No, radius, Srihari, radius is not a local variable. Guys, keep in mind, local variable in this is assigning directly here. If you accept directly like this is a local variable. Without self, if you are declaring a variable, then this variable is a local variable. So if I mention self dot variable name, the variable is a instance variable. Clear with it? Don't confuse with the local variable. Directly if you are assigning input, this is a local variable. This is local. So this is the instance variable. So once I declare an instance variable by using get inside a get method, whenever I'm going to call the with this particular method called radius, don't just avoid this right now. So I initialize this radius by using this as an instance variable. So whenever I make use of this C instance, wherever I can able to access this radius. This radius can be accessed throughout the program. So if people might be having doubt, if I give directly radius, what happen? It will throw you error. It says that there is no variable called radius. So radius will be accepted. So after this, you can notice that it will point here and it will state you error. This is a error that radius is not defined. Got it? So it will take it'll search for the variable. Then we use it. What happened? Just a minute, just a minute. I understand your question. What you're asking for. Yeah, it can be accessed Shiva. Outside also you can print it. Obj dot followed by the variable name, you can print it. If people have this doubt, I'll try to clarify. Just a minute. So whenever you declare a variable, local variable, no use of it, only within a function. So if at all you're going to declare a class variable, if you want to print it, so how to call the class variable? Circle dot py. I'll show you what happens when I'm trying to call this class variable outside, and I'll show you what happens when you're trying to call the instance variable outside. Look at here. So if you want to call the class variable, class name dot, the particular instance variable you want to call it, instance dot. Object can be named as an instance also. Instance dot followed by the variable name. Clear? What you want, Pavan? You said something. Global variable cannot be a private variable, Pavan. So we can't make it as a private variable there. So it will throw you error. So once you're saying to declare outside, right? So if you're declaring globally, make it as local variable. It's private variable. It's not possible. Okay, shall we move on next one? Till this, are you people clear? Come on, give me confirmation, guys. These are important concepts. You'll never get chance to write program on it. You'll be getting theory where you'll be getting MCQ questions where questions will be given. You should detect the error there, error finding or picking the choice, which could be the right choice. So that you should know how to track the program. Without knowing the tracking of it is very hard for you people to understand the MCQs there. By tomorrow, I'll show you how the MCQs will be. I have some sample questions. I'll show you how the MCQs will be based on classes. Once we complete about the class, I'll show you people and how we are going to track that one. Till this audio clear, shall we go ahead to the next one? Among 200, only 10 are responding. What about others? Okay, fine. We'll move on to the next one. Have you people came across the concept called constructor? If at all you learned about C++ or Java, You might have came across the concept called constructor. Have you heard about it? What is that all about? Pavan, outside the class, private variable cannot be declared. This is what I'm saying before. It's from the how to declare private variable. No, outside the class it's not possible, Pavan. Private variable. Just think to it. If you're going to make it as a private, declaring outside the class, then what is the functionality of private? The private functionality is only accessing within the class, right? So declaring outside as a private variable is not possible. Is it clear, Pavan? Okay, constructor is a method which is invoked whenever object is created. Okay, good. Good, Kiran. Others? Okay, object name has in Tanuj. Okay. The main functionality, the one important functionality is constructor in the sense. Here we'll speak about constructor. We'll see one more concept which is resembling the constructor. Here you'll never go with constructor. Here, in case of other programming language, we'll have constructor. Constructor is nothing but those methods will invoke automatically once object has been created. If I create an object, initially those methods will be called automatically. Here, what you are doing it? I'm creating object. If I want to call the get method, I'm calling by using object.get, object.area, object.circumstance. I'm calling one by one, right? So if I want to invoke this method automatically once I create an object. Here we are going to use one method that is nothing that is nothing but double underscore init method. This is a method which you are going to use it for instead of constructor. You will be having constructor in case of other programming language. Here will be naming as a double underscore init method. By whenever you're going to declare this method will be invoked automatically. Once you create object for a class, it is not necessary to invoke this particular method. So when here see if I give this as markdown, then just a minute, then I'll make it as dark code then. Okay. So this double underscore init method is also known as dunder methods or special methods. So certain methods are called dunder methods or special methods. So they'll start with double underscore and they'll end with double underscore. So it is not a private one. Once it starts with double underscore, don't think it's a private. These are inbuilt method. It is similar to your constructor in other programming. Once you create an object for it, it will be invoked automatically. I'll show you some example. Listen here. Class. Let us assume we are having some class called A. And inside this, I'm not going to have anything. I'm going to have one double underscore init method. And whenever there is a method you're going to invoke by using object, it should be given as self as a parameter. And let me print here for our identification double underscore init called. So here what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create object for the class. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to create object for a class. Let me mention obj assign a. Guys, very simple. I'm declaring a class and I'm just having one init method inside it. I'm going to create an object for it. What I told you, this init method will be invoked automatically. So if I execute this, you can find out this init method is invoked automatically without calling it. So in the previous cases, if I want this get method to be called, I'll be calling by using object.get. If I want this area to be called, I'll be mentioning object.area. But here, in case of init method, it is not required to call it. By default, it will be called automatically. Clear with it? By default, it will be called automatically. It is not required to call this particular init method. So what is the use of this init method? Why should I use this one? It's nothing but if we want certain process to be happen during a startup of your program, then I can use those elements inside your init method. So you can notice that we are having this particular program, right? Where this particular input has to be accepted before calculating a area and the circumstance. So what I can do is I'll copy and I'll show you the same program by using init method. Just a minute. I'll paste here. Just a minute. I'll paste here. Okay. The same program. Instead of this get method, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this person as a double underscore in it. So this, let me remove the unnecessary lines here. So here this get is also not required. Got it? So just I'm creating object and directly I'm calling area and circumference. I'm not going to call this radius. So once the object has been created, as soon as object create, the next line executed is a init method. What happens? Is there a typo error? Yes, typo error is there in it, right? Yes, Tigari. Okay. Let me give 5 itself. So you can notice that I didn't call this particular init method. Here it is calling automatically. So whenever you feel that certain elements has to be initialized during your object creation, you can put those elements in your init method. This is the use of the init method. The same purpose you'll be using constructor in other programming language. Here I'll be coming across this term called init method. So this particular done here I told you that what are the methods we are starting with double underscore, all those things are known as dunder methods or double underscore methods. You'll be naming as dunder methods or double underscore methods or magic methods or special methods. Lot of methods are available. Right now we are seeing only with this init method. They'll be naming as double underscore. So whenever I say special methods or magic methods, you can find those methods only starts with double underscore symbol. All the methods will start with double underscore and ends with double underscore. Lot of predefined methods are there. We'll see one few of the required methods. Clear? Is this clear till now? So clear with the init method? Respond me. Okay, fine. And next is, we'll see the other methods. What are the other double underscore methods available? So we have seen this double underscore init, right? Apart from this, certain methods are available. So those are double underscore str, which returns strings as your output. This will give you only output as a string format. And we are having double underscore wrapper. Guys, you can notice that all this function is going to deal only with the object. Here when I call the object, this function is happening, right? So all this double underscore method will be invoked by using object itself directly. And apart from this, what else the method? If you want to calculate the length, I can go ahead with the len. It will give you integer as your output. And next, if I want to give some, if I'm going to perform some deletion operation, I'll show you the implementation, Shiva. It'll be clear. Okay, how it is invoked. What is the default one and what is the function that we are supposed to call it? And this is del. So we'll see one by one with the implementation. It will be more clear with it. Just a minute. Okay. Let me declare a class. My class name be sample. And here what I'll do is I'm going to define double underscore in it. So let us create this class. Let us create the object for this class. Obj assign sample. And inside this, let us assume I'm going to pass a list of value. Just I'm going to pass some value. Okay, so this is a list of value I'm going to pass it. So if I want to receive here, how will I receive? We know that the first parameter here is, we know that when the object is called, who will be invoked here? Init function will be invoked as soon as. So there is no parameter here, also there is no parameter, not an issue at all. Let us assume here I'm going to pass some list of value. So if I'm going to pass a list of value, I need some person to receive it, right? I'll receive by using my list. Okay, and I can assign this particular person for some variable. If required, I can able to use for the further purpose also. I can mention my list assign my list. So don't be confused here. Here I'll give you the command here, self dot here variable name assign here this particular, what are the input you're getting from parameter variable. Will be a parameterized variable or parameter, just I'm assigning it. Okay, now if I'm trying to print this, if I execute this, just a minute. Now if I try to print this object, what will I get now? You can notice here, listen carefully, this is very important. This init method, just I'm passing list to it. Here if I'm trying to print my object, what I'll get is, I'll get my object ID as a reference. I never get this value, I'll get only the object ID as reference. If I want to get this data, whatever I'm passing here, I want to get this data and I want to display it in the sense, I can make use of this double underscore str, which gives a string representation of it. If you're going to define the double underscore str, we'll be defining in this way. Def followed by double underscore str, and keep in mind that this string function and wrapper function is going to say the same work. There is no difference in the work. The only thing is where your wrapper method is a official one, where your str is where your str is the official one, and sorry ma, where wrapper is the official one and your str is the informal one. Both are going to do the same work only. So let us assume I told you that this is going to give you the f string as your output, which is nothing but string as your output. So let me display as a f string format here. Let me give here as in str, okay, which is going to print in str, and let me give self dot my list, and let me close it. Guys, it's very simple. I'm not doing anything here. Just I'm going to implement this double underscore str. Listen carefully. I'm implementing double underscore str. Here I'm going to just return my self dot my list. If I execute the same code now, you can notice that what is the output you're getting. So when I mention obj is the object. It's not possible to print an object directly, right? So when I'm trying to print it, previously it is throwing my object ID as my reference. So if you want to display what are the element is given for an object, it can be thrown by using double underscore str. This is a method which is used for giving some information when the object is called. If you want to print some information all about the object, it can be called by using double underscore str. Guys, very simple. When you call the object directly, when this function is not there, when you call the object directly, we got some object ID, right? Previously, we got object ID. If I want some object information to be printed, once you call obj directly, I want some information to be printed. In those cases, I can call double underscore str. So if I call double underscore str, whatever you want to return it, you can able to mention as a return statement of this particular function. Here for I want to return the information about the list, so I'm giving as self.list. Or you want some statement to be displayed about the program, you can display it. This is all about your double underscore str. The same work is done by using wrapper method also. Let me copy paste this. The same work is going to be done by using wrapper method. Just a minute. Let me copy it. Just a minute now. The same person. As I told you that one person is a formal and one person is the official one. So here, if you want to access the object information, I can go ahead with double underscore str or double underscore wrapper method. Wrapper method. And right now, I'm going to command these two person. I'll command these two person. Okay. Now let us execute it. Sorry guys, this has to be modified, else you'll never get the difference. Just a minute, I'll modify here as wrapper. RDPR. So if I execute it, you can notice that the same output. Just I'm calling the object. If I call the object, here this wrapper method will be called automatically, which is nothing but here I'm giving the information about this object. What are the information I want to see it? I'm customizing, I'm returning it. So this is all about your wrapper method and str method. So we people might have one doubt. So both the person are going to do the same work. If I have this same two person in a program, if I'm going to have both the person in my program, then who is going to be called? We know that both the person is going to give you the information about the object. So if the both the person is occurring in the same program, then what happens? Only your informal method is called. Your official method is not called. So he is your informal method, he is called. This is an informal way. But both are going to say the same information. Some of the information is not going to vary. This is informal and this is official. So if you feel that I want both the person to be called, in those cases you are supposed to call separately. Okay, if you want both the person to be called, we'll be calling separately such a way print. So here I told you that by default who is going to call your informal method will be called. If you want to call this official method, you'll be mentioning wrapper of your object. So then you can notice that both the person will be called. Your informal method int str and your wrapper str will be called. Is this clear? Clear with the str and wrapper method? Come on. Okay. And next is we'll go ahead with the that is a string representation, Harry. I'm going to return a string. These two person will return type will be only of string type. I'm going the data whatever I'll be returning, I can able to return only string type. That is the reason I given as f string. Okay. And the next method is len method. It is going to give through us the length of it, length of the object. Here, let us mention def double underscore len double underscore self. And here I'm going to mention return len of self dot my list. So here you're supposed to call it. Guys, the default called is str. Apart from this, the other addendum method, you're supposed to mention a node of calling by using object name. Directly, you can able to call like this. The method followed by the object. So you can notice that what is the length of this particular object value what you have passed it. So you mentioned this my list, right? What is the length of this particular my list has been displayed here. By using length, make sure that length will throw you only the integer value. And the last one is del method. So speaking about the del method will give you the deleted information. So if you're going to mention, if you're going to perform some deletion operation, so you want some data to be displayed. It is similar to a destructor in case of other programming language. So I'll be calling double underscore del. This del method, guys, all those things are predefined method. We are not going to use any definition of it. We can able to customize the view what we want. That's it. So all those things are just a predefined one. Here let us assume I want to display type of data data. So type of the object. Let us assume type of object which is data. We can mention like this. And just a minute. This representation should be closed here. This is the data information, right? Guys, this f string, all those things is a one way of printing the data, where print can be done by multiple ways. The print, we know the common way where the print can be done in multiple ways. We should be aware of it. For each and every version, the print can be done by using percentage or by using three different methods are there. It can be done by using any one of the methods. This is one of the approach. Here, let us call this del method. So if you want to call it, call the del method, we can call directly del followed by the object. So what is the object? Obj is the object. So if I call obj, delete your obj, what happens? This del method will be called. I'll give us information which object has been deleted right now. The deleted object information will be thrown by using this del method. Clear with it? The information of the deleted data will be thrown by using this double underscore del method. Now let us execute it. You can notice that this particular first these length is called, and when you call this object it will throw you which object the object belongs to which class has been deleted. So type of self in the sense we know the self is a instance of a class. That which instance we will be mentioning it by using this type of self is a instance belongs to which class will be displayed it, and followed by the deleted keyword. So this instance has been deleted, information will be thrown. So you people might be thinking about it. Why should I think about all those person? Why I need this one in the sense, if you want to access some information by keeping object as the primary element, you can make use of these render methods. You can notice that whatever the operation I'm doing, all those things are done by only by using an object. So in those cases, I can make use of this render methods. Is this clear? Come on. Before break, we'll complete this theory part. After break, we can have programming. Okay, fine. And next is, so the first class I could guess that few people are asking about this triple quotes. Ma'am, what is this triple quotes? Triple quotes comes under dog string. Why you people are supposed to say it as a string type? Now I will see there what is this dog string. Okay, let me declare a class. We'll have class name as by class. This is a class. Inside this class, I'll have some statement. Just a minute, Venkatesh. After completing this one, I'll scroll up. Okay. You want this one? Is this the one you're asking, Venkatesh? Okay, from the beginning you want it. Okay, okay. I'll scroll after completing this content. I'll scroll and show you. Okay. Okay guys, we'll go ahead with the doc string. So let us assume some string is there. Okay, there is some string is there inside directly, and let us assume we are having some variable a assigned 10, and we are having some function def followed by function, and we will print some message here, all is well. Now we'll try to just do very basic operation. Let me try to print this class variable my class dot a, and what else? Okay, this is fine. So if I call this one, you can notice that this particular a value will be printed. So you can notice that this is known as doc string. Doc string in the sense it will be written about to all the programming. It will be written about to all the programming. So it is an ethical way to write a doc string during your programming. The reason is right now you're developing a code, you will be the part of it. After the development, someone else will be seeing the code, right? They should know what is the program all about. So this doc string will be written about to the program. So if at all you want to display the doc string information alone, in those cases you can print my class, and for this doc string is also one double underscore method dot double underscore doc string. Is it clear? So if I give like this, you can notice that the information about the class what we are given will be displayed. This is known as doc string. The information about the class what you are given is going to be displayed here. And we people might be wondering, so whether this doc string can be of any place of the class, what happened? Can I access all those things? So you can, let us assume I am going to give one doc string here next to it. End of class. I'm going to give here. Now let me execute it. The same function. Somehow we know the doc string, if you are giving doc string will be displayed. But this data will not be displayed. So make sure that if you are going to give some doc string, if you are giving it, whatever you are giving and the above, the top statement will be executed. This is all about your doc string. Doc string is a very important part in your coding. So and here few people are asking me on the day, if I give this triple quotes, what happened? Triple quotes is for your command line. So why do you use for your variable declaration? So let us assume if I'm giving some data by using triple quotes here inside this class, inside this method. So let us assume I'm going to use triple quotes here. Let me give hello all. And here let us create object for this particular class obj dot uppercase, right? My class. And here we try to call this function obj.fun. What is the mistake we did? Object creation. Sorry guys. Assignment symbol should be there, right? We made it as dot. Is it clear? See, if at all this triple quotes is occurring like this in between, here it is treated as a command line. But don't think that this triple quotes is exclusively for a command line. It is not so. It is only for this purpose we'll be using it. In between. Is this clear? Come on. Okay, fine. Have you came across this term? Just a minute. Yeah, it is for command line is also treated as a document. Is like a documentation, right? Doc string. I'll be naming as a doc string here. We can use for doc string also. String representation. That's it. So have you came across this particular term? If double underscore name assign main. Have you came across this? What is this if double underscore name? What is that? What is that? You people are asking some doubt on it. Just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Venkat, you're asking about? Yeah, it is treated as a command line here. Where it can be of single line or it can be of multiple line. Hemant, just post your code. I'll see to it what you are done. You're supposed to give self as a parameter inside in it. Okay, Sai Venkat, yes, came across this term, guys. This double underscore in it is a very important person. Okay, after break, I'll explain about this person. This is all about your function. This is a very important concept here. Double underscore in it. Danda methods. So what you have mentioned, Hemant? Just a minute. I'll look at your code. What you mentioned it. So you're supposed to pass one more parameter, right? You're passing Hemant and name. You're passing it, right? This list you're trying to pass this list Hemant, right? You're going to pass this list for this particular class during your object creation. You're passing it, right? So once you're passing it, what does it mean? One more parameter is a default parameter is a self. We are supposed to mention one more parameter. The second parameter you left this one. This parameter only will receive the value what you are passing from here. Guys, keep in mind, you should keep this important point in your mind, ma. So whenever listen here, I'll show you multiple parameter. Class. Let me have class name as calc, and let us assume you're going to have one function called add. Okay, and this addition function is going to do addition of two number, for example, number 1 and number 2. Okay, so where you're going to print sum of number 1 plus number 2. You're going to add it. So let us assume, how can I call this particular function? Sorry guys. So you'll be having object assign class, sorry my calc, right? There is some typo error, let it be as such. So obj dot add, I'll be passing two values 10 and 30. Okay, the first parameter, even though 10 and 30 is there, these two will be the next parameter. This is not the first parameter. These are forthcoming parameters. The first parameter only will be the current running object will be taken as a reference here. So don't forget about the self. Whenever object is there, self is required. Guys, I guess if people are clear till now. Is this clear so far? Come on. Okay, guys, we can move for your break. After break, we can continue. Okay, can move for your break. Venkat, I'll explain you after break. What is the day? Okay. And next is lambda function. So what is about lambda function? Anonymous function. Okay, no name given for a function. Good. What else? So what is the advantage of it? What can be written as lambda function? Any function can be converted as a lambda function, or is there a certain program which can be considered as a lambda function? Any function which has minimal line of code, they can be made as a lambda function, right? So that takes maps as an argument. Good, good. So whenever you are speaking about lambda function is not defined by using def keyword. It is also one function. Normally we know that whenever we say function, function will be defined by using def keyword. A lambda function we are not going to define by using def keyword. This first point. And next is the lambda function returns an object. This function will return some object as your output. And this is a simple way for writing it, where lambda function is written by a single line. And this lambda function will not take any argument. No argument is taken as a input for this lambda function. We are not going to take any argument. Okay, and one more important point, this lambda function cannot access any global variable. And if you want to declare this lambda function, I'll be declaring by using keyword called lambda. This is all about the points of lambda. And going further, how to declare this lambda function. So we are going to have variable. This variable is called function object. This is your function object. Assign lambda your argument colon expression. So this is how your lambda function is going to be. Okay. For example, let us assume that you're going to do addition of two number. How will you do it? So first we'll take parameter of single parameter, then I'll go with the two numbers. Okay. So let us assume you're going to do square of it. So we'll mention diff square of a number. We're going to accept it, right? So we'll accept as a parameter. And now we can return this n's power 2 value. So I guess we people came across this function, right, already. So just square followed by 3. So 3 square will be written. So if you want to write this program by using lambda, how you're going to write it? You're going to mention lambda keyword, some variable. So let me mention this is a function variable or function object. So let me mention sqr as my variable name. Assign lambda is a keyword and followed by it we are supposed to pass argument. So if I'm going to convert the same program as a lambda function, what is the argument here? I'm going to pass number, that is the argument, colon. What is the manipulation I'm doing the particular element? I'm going to do square of it, right? So I'll mention power of 2. So I've added square. Now if I want to call this lambda expression, I'll just call directly by using its function object. The same work is done, where the number of lines has been reduced in a single line like this. Not only single parameter, if you feel that I want to pass multiple parameter for a function. So let us assume where you want to do addition of two numbers. You're going to write a program for sum of two numbers. Normally how will write, guys? I'll write the two element, how to write normal and how to write along with the lambda function. So it'll be easy for you people to relate it initially for converting as a lambda function. So let me have add as a function, and this function is going to accept two parameter. So adding these two function, what I'm going to return? I'm going to return a summation of it. sum of x plus y. So what I can do, I'll be calling my add function with two value 4 comma 5. So the value will be added. So the same function now let us convert to lambda function. So let me have my function name as the variable name as add, assign lambda. Okay, how many parameter we are having? Here we are having two parameter, isn't it? So you can pass x comma y as my parameter. What I'm going to do inside, I'm going to add these two data. So addition is done. So you can pass at 3 comma 5. Is this clear? It is so simple, guys. Whatever the function is there, you can able to convert as a lambda function easily. So for your understanding, I have made a small basic program by implementation of, I didn't take any complex program for implementation of lambda. Here I have taken very basic program where addition and squaring of it I have taken it. Is this lambda function clear for everyone? In this way, you can convert any function as a lambda function. Okay, fine. And one more important part. What is that? Yes, you can implement for lambda inside your map or filter, you can implement it. So you want to implement by using that way also. Okay, I'll show you guys. What you can do here. Okay, I'll take this one. This expression, I'll take it. Let us assume there is a list. There is a list of value 1, 2, 3, 4. These values are there. Okay, I want to perform a square of this number. So let me mention print. So list of iteration is required, right? We can make use of map. I told you about map. Here, the first parameter, what is the first parameter of map? That is a function name. So you can use lambda. If you want to perform square of the number, I can perform like this and followed by the comma as list can be passed here. Clear with this one, ma? Where instead of calling a function for each and every time, we can make use of lambda function substitution. It is very simple. Lambda makes your program very optimized. Is this clear? Okay, fine. And when I'm speaking about this one, this particular implementation, if condition, I guess you people told me that's completely new for you, right? Can we see some example for this, for double underscore name? What is it? It is important one when you're going for multiple program. For single program, you'll never find difference. Whenever you're going for multiple program, you'll find difference. So I'll give you a small example for this, then we can go ahead with the programming part. So for this, I'll just open IDE. Ideally, I will make use of it. It will be easy for you to understand when I'm making use of ideally. Just a minute. Entire screen. Okay, as of now, let me share the entire screen. Okay, it will be easy for you people related. That's the reason. So let me create a new file. And I'm going to save it here. This is a simple example of double underscore ifma. Which one with Vishnu you want to repeat it? Lambda function with use of list, please. Just a minute, ma. Modules. This comes under modules. So which one you're asking for, Vishnu? What happened here, Vishnu? Which one you wanted? This one, this list. This is nothing but by using map, we know that map accept two parameters. One is function and other is list, right? Here, this list is passed here. So what happened? One by one value will be taken and it will be squared and it will be stored as a list. So taking one by one value from the list, the iteration is taken care by using map function. Here in this, what are the optimization and we did is instead of using loop, we used map. The same way, instead of using function, we use lambda function. This is the difference. Okay, fine. Sai Kiran, done the methods again. Okay, I'll complete this one. Then we can go ahead with that, Kiran. Listen here. So here we are going to see this example. I'm going to explain about this double underscore main ma. I'm going to explain about what is double underscore name, what is equals to main. You'll be coming across this particular keyword. If condition, wherever you see, you'll be coming across this one. It is an important one. I'll let you know what is this. Here, let us assume we are going to do some calculator operation. Normally, how will you do? So let me write two function here. Diff add. Let us assume I'm going to add two numbers a and b. So it will return addition of two numbers a plus b. So let me have two function for addition, subtraction. Just quick, let me write it, okay? A minus b, and let me have division. I guess it's sufficient. Okay, let it be. Let me mention multiplication. A into b. Now, normally, how will you call this one? You'll be accepting two numbers, right? You'll be accepting input and one will be accepted from the user. The same way n2 will be accepted. You're going to accept two input. Then let us assume you're going to call this sum function. You're going to call this sum function just by mentioning add of n1 comma n2. Call the This is a normal program. This is a simple example for module I'm explaining, guys. Okay, where one module can be imported in the other files. Look at here. A very simple program doing calculation operation. We are going to add two numbers. I'm going to have add function, subtract function, and I'm going to have call this function. Now let me execute this. Is this output screen visible for everyone? I guess I'll share the entire screen. Is this visible? Come on, respond me so that I can go further. Okay, fine. So let us assume I'm going to give, okay, thank you, ma. If I'm giving 2, if I give 4 and 2 as my input. So what happened? Two numbers has been added by using sum and two number has been subtracted by using sub. This is a normal program. If at all you are using double underscore name, this double underscore is name is one of a dunder method which you came across. So this double underscore name will give you, it's a built-in one which gives the current running model. It's a built-in double underscore method. Okay, so which will give you the current running module. What is a current running module? The information is given, will be given by this particular double underscore name. Current running module. Information will be given by using double underscore name. Now the same program, let me execute it. You can notice that it is printing first main. What is this main? The first statement to be executed, your execution start from here, right? So here we doesn't have any keyword called main. So if you are trying to execute this program, you can notice that the first line, if I'm using double underscore name, the first line what is displayed is main, which shows that the current running file is the main file. It is a main module. And after this accepting input from the user, I can give some number. So based on the value, it's going to display. So whenever you use double underscore name, it is a predefined double under method which will display the current running module information. Okay. Now let me do one thing. I'll create one more file and I'll try to access it. Then only you can able to identify what is the exact purpose of this double underscore name. Okay. Let me do one thing. I'll create one more file. So let me save this file as operator. And here, let us assume I want to do the same addition function in this operators also. It is not required to write the program again. You can import this file here just by mentioning import followed by the file name. What is the file name I mentioned here? Modules I mentioned here. So you can mention this file name as modules. This modules is nothing but the file name what I said here. The particular file name I'm importing it. And after this, if required, you can accept separate two input here. So right now, let me copy paste this data here. So I'm not going to type again and waste time. So I'm going to mention number 1 and number 2 is going to be accepted here. So if you want to do addition of these two numbers, so it is not required to rewrite the function again. You can make use of the existing function. This is what you're going to see by using import module. So already you may have came across this import module, right? So once you want the same operation to be done, it is not required to retype it again. Directly you can use it. So directly I can mention print. So what is the module name you're supposed to make use of it? Module name I'm going to make use of it is modules. So I'll mention modules dot followed by the method. What is the method inside this function you're going to make use of it? Add function. So you can mention add. Here, let us assume I want to add the numbers. Number 1 and number 2. So I'll pass these two as a parameter. Clear with it? So for your clarification, let me give one print statement here also. Print double underscore name. Guys, I guess you people are clear. Be little cautious here. This is a separate file I executed. We have seen what is the output. And this is the another separate file where I want to do addition of two number. It is not required for me to rewrite the function again. Don't be confused. The only one line is there. Why should I import from there? Right now, I'm giving example with a single line. If at all the function what are you supposed to write is of multiple line, it is not required to rewrite it. Okay, directly you can implement it. So here, just by mentioning the module name dot particular method name and followed by number 1, number 2, we can execute it. Now let me execute this file. We have seen by executing this particular file. After adding this file, I didn't do any modification in this file. Just have added few elements only. Right now, executing this operator file alone. Let me execute it. You can notice that the current executed file is operator. Just let me minimize it and keep it aside for you people reference, guys. Listen here. So when I'm executing this file, listen carefully. When I'm executing this file, the operator is the file which I executed right now. You can notice that. What is the file executed? Operator is the file I've executed. If I execute this file, immediately what happened? This module file will be called. So when I'm calling this module file, you can notice that the first line in the module is double underscore name. Right now you can notice that double underscore is displaying as module. It is not displaying as a main file. This is a very important concept. Listen carefully. When you execute this operator file, the first line executed is module. When this statement is executed, automatically this file calls. You can notice that right now this file name is module. This is not the main file. So after this, what is the statement executed? Name assign input. So let me give some value 8 and 4. So after that, what happened? These two number has been added and these two number have been subtracted. So once this module calling is happening, all the process in this particular file is completed. After completing this, now it is coming here and asking enter number 1. So if you give 6 and number 2 as 3, you can notice that after giving this 2 input is printing double underscore name. So right now it is displaying main. So in case of here, what happens, whatever the file you are executing currently, the particular file is treated as a main file, and the remaining file, whenever you're going to take some information, those file will be treated only in this particular file name. Here the particular file name I have given as a modules, so the particular file is treated as a module. Is that clear? So this is how to import it. Now we people feel that I don't want this program to be executed. I want only this add function to be implemented. So there is no use of implementing this one, right? Here I'm going to just implement this. I want to implement only this add function alone. When I call add, I want only add operation to be done. Addition of these two operation. I don't want these elements to be executed. In those cases, what you can mention is, here I can mention one if condition. If my double underscore name is double underscore is equals to my main file. I'll check whether the current executing module is the main module. We know that when I'm executing this particular file directly, this file is treated as a main module. So when I'm executing from the other file, when this particular module is called from here, he is not the main module. This particular person is treated with the particular file name. Now again I'll try to call this operator. Listen carefully. I'm trying to call this operator. I'll try to execute this one. So if I'm trying to execute this, what is asking for? Import modules, it will go there. So here I can notice that before my if statement, I given printing my name. So the current running module is the file name. This is not the main file. Right now I executed this operator file. So the file which is executing is considered as the main file. Right now he is the main file. Okay, now when this first statement is executed, as soon as execute, it goes to this file. So this statement will be printed. So right now double underscore name is module, that is not main. This if condition will be checked. Modules equals to main, a condition fail. If this condition is fail, then this statement will not be executed. So after this, immediately will come here, enter number 1 will be accepted. Enter. Sorry guys, just a minute. We are supposed to save it. We didn't save the file. Just a minute. If you're not saving it, again the same file will be executed. Give me a second. Let me save these two person. We'll save him and we'll save these two person. Now we'll execute it. Without saving, if you're executing, this if condition will not be applied. Okay. Now we'll execute it. So what happened? Your import model has been executed. After this, where it is called? Number 1. It is not asking for n1. It is asking only for the number 1. The reason is this if condition is failed. Okay, this if condition is failed. The reason is the double underscore name. What is that? That is module. That is not main. So I'll give some value here. Number 1 value, number 2 value. So what happened? After this, I'm printing and checking my name. Right now this model I'm executing, so he is a main file. So I can from here I can call this add function. So I guess you people are clear with how to import a module, the one particular file, another file. Here we are importing this particular file module inside our operator. So we are importing this particular file here. The methods of this particular file has been imported. Moreover, we have seen what is the importance of this double underscore main. Until unless this file is executed, these statements should not be executed. If you want to control the access like this, then you can go ahead with double underscore name. This is the important property. So you can able to identify the difference of it once you're comparing with two files. In a single file, that is not possible to identify at all. Is this clear for everyone? What is the purpose of this double underscore main? If this double underscore name is not there, what happened? Oh, you want this to be executed. Okay. Many people are asking for it. Okay, just a minute. I'll execute and show you guys. Just a minute. So let us assume this particular if condition is not there. Okay. This if condition is not there. when I'm trying to execute it, when I'm trying to execute this, let us assume I'm going to save this one. Okay, if I save this one and I want this particular add module alone to be implemented to the other program. So if you want to implement this add module alone, I should import this particular module here. So if I'm importing, as soon as this function I'm trying to import it, this particular entire program will be executed. So you can notice that when I'm trying to execute here, right now the entire program will be executed. A model function is called. Okay, this function is called when I'm trying to print double underscore name. Yeah, Pavan, I'll tell you about the remaining one. All those things are optimization. I'll tell you about. When I call this one name, name will display the current running model information. Right now, current running model is a module, so it will be displayed, and the information what you are giving will be displayed. The operation will be taking place. Then only it will come for the current module. The current running module is the main module, right? After this one, it will come here, and after this, whatever the information you are giving will be manipulated. So you can notice that this is the main person. You can notice that this file is the main file. He is not the main file. Just a minute, ma. Here, who is the main file? The file which I am executing here is considered as a main file. Right now, I am executing only this person, isn't it? I am executing only this operator. He is the main file. So I don't want this operation to be taken. I want only, I'll give two number, only addition of these two numbers has to be taken. I don't want the whatever the data in the particular file to be executed. In those cases, you can put one if condition here, and you can say that if at all the output of this double underscore name is equals to main, then you can call this statement, else don't call it. Got it? If condition, whenever this if condition is true, I want this to be executed. When this if condition will be true, when I'm executing this only this file, if I'm executing directly, then this condition will be true. You can notice that right now the name is displayed as a main. Previously, what happened when I'm trying to print my operator, who is main here? Only your operator file is treated as a main. When I'm trying to execute my module file, here you can notice that this particular person, right now this model is treated as a main. So the file which you are executing is considered as a main file. If you're executing directly, this condition will be true, all the statement will be executed. If I doesn't execute directly, if I'm trying to execute from some other file, then I don't want this statement to be executed. In those cases, you can apply this if condition. This is the use of this if condition. Okay. And one more thing, you people might have a doubt. I'm going to use only add, right? I'm going to use only add. This particular program can have any number of modules. Then why should I use it? Or if you want to optimize this module, the file name is too large. If I want to optimize it, I can use as keyword and I can mention mod. You can optimize like this, and wherever you want it you can give like this is a one way of optimizing. Even this is going to give you the same output, guys. Output wise you're not going to get any difference. This is one way of calling it, customizing the module name and calling it. The other name is, if you feel that I'm going to have only one module, why should I call all the module? In those cases I can mention from modules. Okay, just I'll give you all the possible from modules. Import import the add module alone. In this program, I'm going to have only addition. I'm going to perform only addition operation. In those cases, I'll import add module alone. And here I can do directly. Here I can do directly. It is not required to. If I'm going to use this particular approach, here what I can do is, instead of this, I can call directly print add of number 1 comma number 2. So if you use the previous approach, if you're going to import the entire module, then you can call this method. When you're going to import only add from it, this particular module has n number of function. I don't want all the stuff. I want only this particular add alone. In those cases, you can call import the add alone. You can mention add. So let us assume you're having few more methods for multiplication, division. modulo all those things. I want two methods. I don't want all the methods. I want two methods to be implemented. Then put comma and add comma subtraction. I want only these to be implemented. So you can mention like this. Or if you feel that I want all the method to be implemented, but I don't want to use this module. The reason is each and every time I am supposed to call the module name. In those cases, you can mention import star. So either this approach or this approach, for both the approaches, you can call your methods directly as you call here. Add number 1, comma number 2. Only for the first approach, if you are importing the entire module, then you are supposed to mention module name dot function name. Clear with this one, ma? This is all about your double underscore main and modules. How to import one module in the other module. Do you have any doubt in it? If at all you have any doubt, you can let me know. Star in the sense all the functions inside it. That is the meaning of star. Short form alone, you want to repeat it. Okay, I'll repeat the short form alone. Here, if you want to implement only this add alone, I don't want all the function here, I want only add function. In those cases, you can import only add from modules in the sense from this file name, import add function, comma subtract function. You can specify only function name. If you are function specifying like this, it is not required to mention the class name during your function call. Okay, no, sorry, ma. File name during your function call, directly you can mention add of n1, comma n2. You can mention directly like this. Clear with it? Directly you can mention like this. So if you feel that all the function has to be called, then you are supposed to mention star. No, Pavan, is not required. For star and this one, for these two method that mention directly. Here, if I want, I'll write it here. You'll be mentioning directly function name followed by the variable. Function call will be like this. For this and this, for both the thing, you'll be writing like this. Only for the first approach, you're supposed to write it. Okay, shall we move on next concept? Just a minute, let me share this application alone. Just a minute, guys, the file is getting loaded. Venkat, if you remove this particular if condition, what happened? Even though it is a main file or not file, then it will be executed. That's it. That's a different. If you want to execute only when it is a mail, then you can be able to use this one. Just a minute, the file is getting loaded. Let me try to open it again. Give me a second. It is getting processed, guys. We'll wait. Okay, fine. So we are done with it, right? So we'll go ahead with the problem solving. So we'll continue with this class and object by tomorrow, guys. Okay, we'll have problem solving discussion. Okay. Okay. I told you people by tomorrow I'll be saying you regarding permutation and combination. Shall we? Okay, we'll discuss about this. Okay, I'll give you the information about this. How to implement this permutation and combination, and if possible I'll give you information about the collection. Those things are shortcuts which will help you out to do the program in a short form. So permutation and combination, all those things will come under if you want to find some combination of elements. Combination of first three elements, three elements you're supposed to combine it, and all those cases you'll be going it with permutation and combination. Okay. Now, if you want to implement this permutation and combination, if you want to implement permutation, you're supposed to mention those belongs to iter tools. Iter tools is the one where you're supposed to implement this particular. This is a predefined one. Just now we have seen it, right? From, we have seen some example. Could you remember? From modules, import, add alone. Just now we have seen it, right? So what happened? Modules is the already existing file. From that file you are going to import add. The same way this particular from iter tool we are supposed to implement permutation alone. So in case of permutation, what happened? It gives the combination of multiple elements. For example, listen here. For example, let me give some variable x assign. So I'll try to import it, guys. With if you want to make use of permutation, I'm supposed to import this line. So I'll be mentioning x assign permutations. This permutation is a predefined one, it's not a user defined. Let us assume I'm giving some value 1, 2, 3. If I give for, guys, all those things will be the hint for your program. When you're writing your multiple questions, it will be hint for you. Okay. Let me convert as a list of x, and let me print my I value. So if I use like this, you can notice that it gives the different permutation. So what are the possible combination? 1 2 2, 1 3 2, 2 1 3, 3 2 1, 3 1 2, 3 2 1. So if you want to fish all the possible combination of a number, if your question is like this, you can make use of it. Just by using 2 to 3 lines, you can complete your task. Okay. If they give some condition, I want to form, I have list of multiple number, but I don't want to form all the combination. I want to take first two number or first three number, then I want to do it. In those cases, I can apply some condition. Just the same code, I'm going to make use of it. Just I'm going to add one additional parameter to it. Just I'm going to mention comma 2. Okay. Now let me execute it. You can notice that 2 2 element, all the combination will be given. All the permutation, all the possible combination, all the possibilities will be given. You can notice that 1 2 1 3, 2 1 2 3, 3 1 3 2. So all the permutation, all the possibilities of combination will be given. So if you feel that I don't want all the possible combination, I want only the unique possible combination where 1 2 and 2 1 is going to give the same meaning, right? So I want the only the unique combination. In those cases, you are supposed to implement combination. So here from iter tools, what you are implemented, we are implemented permutation, right? Instead of this, you are supposed to import combination. There is one more element called combination. You can implement it. What happened, Dinesh? Just a minute. Is okay. We are supposed to implement combination, And here, this is relevant to this next question, what you're going to discuss. That's the reason we are discussing this topic. Okay, combination. And here, let me apply this condition. Let me apply condition here. And now let us execute it. So previously, the same program we are doing it. What is the error? Typo error. COMBI. Combinations. Sorry, guys. Combinations, and here instead of permutation we are supposed to modify as combinations. So you can notice here, when you are giving the same program by using permutation, what happened is giving all the possible combinations. So when I give combination, only the unique combination is taken here. You can notice here 1 2 is the one combination, 1 3 is the other combination. Apart from excluding the already formed combination, the leftovers 2 3. This is all about combination. If at all your question is asked about permutation, you can go ahead with the next previous one. If the question is asked for combination, you are supposed to make use of this. Is this clear with the permutation and combination? You're applying condition here. What is the number you wanted? And next is, I'll teach you one small topic, guys. Apart from this, we can have particular condition, Dinesh. Particular condition, I'll see to it and let you know. You want the permutation concept. Permutation will give you all the possible combination. It will give you all the possible combination. So I can apply without the number of combination numbers. With combination numbers, it can be applied. So combination will give you the unique tools. Yeah, built in. The Zeta tool is a built-in one. Okay. And apart from this, there are a lot of things, a lot of built-in methods are there, guys. So same way, there is one topic called collection. So just I'll give you overview of this alone, okay? After this, we can go ahead with the program. Just overview about the collection alone. There's one topic called collection, which makes your work very easy. Here, if you want to implement collection, same as your iter tool, so you're supposed to go ahead with the syntax, Venkat. No other way. Yesterday I told you, right? We are having this doc string is there. You're supposed to go ahead with the docs, refer the syntax of each and everything. Okay, just a minute. For combination, same way for collection, we are having n number of methods. As we see that here permutation and combination is there, right? For collections also, we are having different types of methods. Chain map is there, lot of things is there. Right now, just I'm going to teach you only two implementation of collection. One is counter, another is chain map if required. So counter will be useful. So just I'm giving you the information about what are the concept which is more frequently used in program solving the logic. What are the most frequent logic used it? So you can have from collections. So right now I will go ahead with the counter. I'll say you about counter with an example. Listen carefully. So make sure this counter C should be in uppercase. So let us assume there is a list of values. There is a list of values. I'll have A, B, A, C, A. Just list of values is there for a string. B, C. Okay. I want to count the number of elements is there, number of occurrence of a element. In those cases, we can able to make it as print counter of, yesterday we did one program, could you remember? Google. Removing the duplicate values in the particular string. All those things can be done by using this collection method. So what happens here is, you can find out here, it will display output as a dictionary type. It will give you number of occurrence of A, number of occurrence of B, number of occurrence of C, and number of occurrence of D. This can be done like this. So if you find that I want to join this string, removing the duplicate, I want to join it. In those cases, you can go ahead with the join method. Just by mentioning print, okay, join the string dot join method, and here you can call your counter, and here you can pass your list. So what happens here? So the whatever the data, we know that when I call counter, when I'm printing this alone, it is printing like this, right? So what happens here? All the character what is there in a sequential name, based on the count, it is going to just merge, combine us, join it. Is this clear? Come on. So what happened? All the duplicate value has been removed, and at the same respective position, the value has been joined. So if we want to join it and print in a reverse order, so in those cases, you can go ahead with the normal reverse function here, where you can mention colon colon -1 as your condition. So what happened? The same string will be joined and will be displayed in a reverse order. Parenthesis is not closed, right? Can't, it should be given inside a parenthesis. So what happens? Something is missing. Just a minute. Give me a second. Whether parentheses are nested properly? No. It has to nest properly. Now this is reversed. Yes, here it is unordered only. When you're trying to print it unordered, when you're trying to join, it will give you only in the order way. This is all about your counter tool. Okay. Is this clear, guys? All those things will be helpful for your programming logic. It'll be helping you people to optimize your logic. Instead of writing multiple codes for finding the duplicate value, iteration, all those things, you can make use of it. It is not going to give you the sorted order. No, Pavan, it's not going to give you sorted order. The way how it is going to give it. Yeah, you can access it, Pavan. Next, I'll show you how to access the element in this dictionary. Next, I'll show you people how to access the element in this dictionary. Don't worry. Let us assume this dictionary is formed. Now, I want to do some subtraction operation. For example, okay, let us assume I want to subtract some element, or I want to add some element. I'm going to make use of subtract method. So, just a minute. I'll take some counter here. Just a minute, guys. I'll keep on adding. Okay, let us assume this is a counter 1. This counter 1 has these values. This counter 1 has these values. Just a minute. What is the Sai Venkat? Okay, that's easy. Removing the character which occurs more than once. That's easy, right? If you know the key value, take the key, see to that which is occurring more than once, remove it. Listen here. So what you can do is here, you're going to subtract in the sense, you can have a counter 2. Let us assume I'm going to have one more element here. Counter 2, I'm having it. Let me remove this. I'm going to mention 1 and I'm going to mention 1. Let us assume I want to reduce my counter to this particular dictionary from this dictionary. By using this counter tools, I can do it here. Listen here. So what I can do is I can mention my counter 1 dot subtract. Subtract is a method in which what is the counter you want to subtract it. You can subtract from this. Then you can display a remaining counter. The value will be subtracted. So you can notice that these two values has been subtracted. What about this B? Okay, D is coming here. Since this particular dictionary is unordered, it will never come in order. You'll get output only as an unordered. Same way you can update one particular value or you can able to reassign one particular value. This can be done. Is it clear? Come on guys, are you clear with this? These are the concepts which helps your operation very easy. It might be either string or whatever it may be, you can take it as a dictionary where you can do the manipulation easily. Taking a key and a value you can compare easily, that is possible. Venkat, I'll see to it. I'll tell you, Venkat. Just give me some time. Right now, let me complete this one. Just I give an outline of these one guys. Just you can search for the notes and you can try to work on it. Lot of things are available. Just I given only the few outline of it. If I take the entire session will not be sufficient. Is this clear? Okay. Fine. So we are discussing about this problem right yesterday. Taking the unique combination and whose combination value is equal to the sum. Will you people try it out this one? Try this one. Yesterday yes, I had explained about this question. You can take few minutes of time. You can try it. If you tried it, you can post the code of it. Take the unique combination. Array is accepted. 4 value has to be taken. Unique combination of this 4 value which gives you the output num value has to be considered. Try to share the output. Come on, start doing. I guess you people are clear with this question. Okay, I'll show the question once. Screen got stuck. Okay, Tanuj, I'll try to paste in the chat box. Give me a second. Screen got stuck. Just give me a second. It is doing some. Okay, I restarted. Give me a second. This matrix problem also is yet to be solved, right? We'll solve it. If you're completing soon, we'll try to solve the matrix also. That's good, Avinash. That good. Good. The answer is right. Question you didn't get it. A post on the chat box. Just a minute. I'll paste it again. Okay, okay. It came for only for the panelist alone. Okay. I'll try to copy paste again, ma. Madhuri, good. Good, Madhuri, good. Good. Making combination of it, then equals to 0. Srihari, the input might vary. You're going to accept the second input also. It should not be always 0. Srihari, check with other inputs. Yes, the fixed one, right? So it may vary. Pavan, good. The logic comes very simple. Take the combination of it, find the sum of the combination. Okay, check with the number. Then, if it is equal, then print the combination. Print the number of counts alone. Have a counter alone for checking with the combination. Combination is going to give you only the unique combination, right? You can implement, guys, you can implement combination which gives you unique combination, and later on what you can do is you can add those combination and check it. And you can have summation of the combination. If the summation of the combination is equals to a original number, then you are said to be, you're said to have this these many counter value you're supposed to display. Yes, display -1. I'll post in the chat box also, stay here. If you wanted, you can see briefly. It's a detailed one, not a brief one. Detailed one, you can scroll up, you can see to it, which one you wanted. Then I'm scrolling here, you can scroll up there. It'll be easy for you to look at it. Okay. Come on, make it soon. Good, Pavan. But if it is -1, Pavan, what is it going to happen? It will display only 0, right? Pavan Kumar, just check with that alone. Yeah, Ravi, good. Venkat Naidu. Okay. Pavan, if it is count value is there is no matching value at all. What we said, I said -1 to be displayed. So according to the program, it gives you 0 only. Okay. Now this is fine. Okay, good. Shall we see here? Okay, still people are doing it. Okay. Good, Karan, good. Shall we discuss? Come on. Yes. Guys, come on, respond me. Are people still doing or shall we discuss? Give me some response. Only one or two is responding. Okay, let's go. Fine. Often the screen is struck. Just a minute, ma. Yeah, we'll move on. Just a minute. Give me a second. Okay, we'll start doing. Here, as I told you that we people are going to use combination. We'll mention for. We'll import it from iter tools. Can import. Just a minute, ma. People are keep on posting. Okay. Import this combination. Import combination. And here we are going to accept input based on comma, right? So let us assume where assign list of map of int comma input dot split it based on comma basis. You're supposed to split it, and after this you're supposed to accept one value from the user. So let it be n. Actually this should be, according to the program, in array out array. So this is your in array and this is your out array input, and here let the number we're going to accept here. So what you're supposed to, you're supposed to find the number of combinations which is giving this particular value n, satisfying this condition n. So let me have one element called n assign 0, and after c assign 0 for counting it, not n assign 0, and for I in, directly I'm going to implement combination directly here. Instead of doing separately here, you can do directly here. Combinations of, what are the combinations you want? I want the value to be passed and I want to take four values. We know that this is a way for optimizing it. So directly you can mention if my, oh god, if my sum of I equals to my n value. So I'll check whether my sum of I equals to my n value. So if it is equal, you can increment your counter by 1. There is no need of incrementing it. So now we can come to a print statement. So in case of print, what you can print? Print -1. Okay. When if my count value remains 0, print -1. Else I want to print my count value. So execute it. Let us give the value -1, 0, 1, -2, 0, 2, and the value to be equated is 0. So the total count is 3. Is this clear? Come on, respond me. Is this clear? Okay, fine. And one more question is left. I guess everyone is clear with it. I'll scroll a little up. Okay, just by combination single line, this work is done. No need of writing multiple logics here. And the previous question, this one, matrix. Have you people done this matrix? I given this as your assessment, right? Whenever you find time, you can try to do it. Have you tried it? Checking diagonal columns, rows. Whenever you find that 3 elements are equal, 3 times when the particular number is repeated, then display the minimum count of it. Have you people tried it? Just know people are doing it. Okay, try it soon. Make it soon. If you are done already, you can post this code. Else try it, or else try to do it soon. Okay, you want the question also, Sai Kiran? Just a minute, I'll paste it here. Guys, try to complete fast. We are having very minimal amount of time. I given this question yesterday itself. Okay, try to do it soon. Make it fast. If at all you have any doubt, you can let me know, guys. I guess everyone is doing it right. Right for reminding Venkat. I'll see. I'll help you people. Today is our representative cycle. Okay, okay, Paman. Okay. I'll send you people. Diagonal is very easy. 0, comma 0, 0, comma 1, 0, comma 2. Sai Venkat. Make with the two columns, ij columns, and try to do it. 0, comma 0, 0, comma 1, 0, comma 2. I guess many people are trying now. Just now they are trying. Yes, they didn't try it. Huh? Guys, I'll give you a small hint for this particular program. Just at least try to do it by tomorrow at least. Okay. It's very simple. You're supposed to take the diagonal values alone. Okay, here Sai Venkat has done. Okay. Or okay, rows and column you did it. Okay, good, good. And okay, good. For diagonal, do one thing. Mention row minus 2 and column minus 2 as your iteration condition. Row should be row minus 2, column should be column minus 2, which is nothing but what are the variable you are taken as row and column. Okay, row minus 2, column minus 2, then you will be getting this column 0 comma 0, 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2, 3 comma 2 comma 2. Can you get what I'm saying? Diagonal value should be taken as 1 0 comma 0, 1 comma 1, 2 comma 2. Make it as row value goes to minus 2 and column goes to minus 2. That is the logic. Okay guys, shall we wind up the session? By tomorrow we'll continue with this program. Shall we? Tomorrow session will start with this, then we can go ahead with the remaining OOPS concept. Get a setter method, lot of things are available, we can continue with it. Okay, fine.